Introducing Furiosa by L'Oreal.
Furiosa.
Just because you live in a toxic desert doesn't mean your face has to become a wasteland. This revolutionary formula infused with black bean extract deeply nourishes and revitalizes your skin. Squeeze a dollop, grab your thumb, and apply a generous helping to your face. Perfect for the inner road warrior in you.
Furiosa.
Warning: causes older brain development and is linked to breast, kidney, lung, and prostate cancer.
Hi, welcome to Film Stash. My name is Douglas Campbell, and today we are talking about Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. As the world fell, young Furiosa, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, is snatched from the green place of many mothers and falls into the hands of a great biker horde led by the warlord Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth. Sweeping through the wasteland, they come across the Citadel, presided by Immortan Joe. While the two tyrants war for dominance, Furiosa must survive many trials in an attempt to find her way home. So when I went to the movie, I knew this was going to be a different story altogether. I tried to completely erase from my mind that this was Fury Road, and I knew it probably wasn't going to be as high octane or as fast paced as it. When I left, I just was a little disappointed by the outcome. I still think the movie was good. For a while, I couldn't verbally express what it was that made me disappointed, but I think I figured it out. Before then, I just want to talk about what I did like about the movie. One of the things that I liked about this movie that has continued over from Fury Road is the expansive world of the wasteland. The car designs, the outfit, just the general grossness and creepiness has been carried over from that movie. Just like the previous movie where the cinematography really has highlighted the desert, this film I think continues to maintain that aesthetic of the world, and I think it looks super gross but cool. What happens here is they actually expand upon the lore that was established in Fury Road. Like, you got to see more of the Citadel, Gastown, and Bullet Town, and even got to see the trade politics and work in this apocalyptic wasteland, with all three and how they're able to survive and coexist without strangling each other. I don't know if any other review is going to talk about this. I try not to look at other reviews, but weirdly enough, when it comes to Dementus and his biker gang, it did seem like it kind of crossed the bridge between the original Mad Max and this world of Fury Road, in how bikers could take over the world and things go to shit quicker. It's kind of neat to see the previous original film get acknowledged on that front. The acting highlight of this movie is Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa and Chris Hemsworth as Dementus. Anya Taylor-Joy, she is able to convey that silent acting where she can get everything across without speaking. And I think that's great, although I do have some issues with that in a story sense later, but generally those two are the biggest highlights of the film. And although their interaction is a bit short, the scenes they have together are truly fantastic. Chris Hemsworth as the villain Dementus, I think, truly fits in as one of those quirky yet intimidating villains that Mad Max has established, or at least established across the films I've seen. He goes toe-to-toe with Toe Cutter, but he's not at the height that Immortan Joe is. It's truly goofy, and he was a delight to see on screen. The thing I like about this movie, even though there wasn't as much action compared to Fury Road, I do like that the theme of an eye for an eye just creates more cynicism and violence. I feel like it came through in this film, and it does make it stand apart a bit from Fury Road, especially with how you see this affecting Furiosa and even to an extent Dementus and his journey. As a prequel, unfortunately, I don't think that Furiosa completely justifies its existence in terms of telling a story beforehand. Because most of what we know with Furiosa, it kind of remains the same, and not much new information is really shown in this film. The action itself, just like with the Fury Road, and even with the original Mad Max back in the 70s, I think is truly amazing. But the only issue I take with it this time around is that, unlike the previous two movies where it does amp itself up or it does change some aspects of it, a lot of the action felt very similar to what came in Fury Road. Oh, you know what that means?
That means it's time for intermission!
So today's popcorn is spicy dill pickle. Honestly, with all this popcorn I'm accumulating, I should maybe be a popcorn diller. Get it? It's a dill pickle. Eh. All right, let's give it a try. Oh, there it is. Yeah, at first, when it goes in your mouth, it's just nothing. It's just plain popcorn. But now I'm getting the dill and I'm getting the spice at the same time. More spice than dill. I mean, it's okay. You know what? That's not bad. Definitely like the spicy one from last week more. I don't know. That's a 6 out of 10. You want some? Oh, okay, sure. Jeez. I don't know if I want to eat this now. That was a pretty big handful. George Miller as a director and a writer, at least with these movies, I haven't seen Happy Feet in forever, but it seems like he wants his film's main characters to be a silent vessel that kind of guides us through the worlds that he takes us on. In Mad Max Fury Road, it does work with Max just because the world's going 1,000 miles a minute and it's almost non-stop the entire time. With Furiosa, you are telling a different story where the action isn't always prevalent. And in doing so, I don't think having Furiosa being quiet for 90% of the movie completely works. There isn't as much to latch onto with her, even though you do feel bad for what she's going through and the hell that she's put on. You just don't connect with her as much, unfortunately. With that in mind, whenever you're comparing her character here to Max in Fury Road, it just felt like the same character. It really felt like you could have interchanged it with Max. That's just how the silence is utilized in the movie. You could say it's parallels. To me, it just looked like George Miller just doesn't know how to write a main character without it just coming across the same in every movie. A lot of the action felt very similar to what came in Fury Road, just in terms of what they do with the trucks, with these vehicles, how they crash into each other, and in a way it just felt like I was watching a rehash of what came before, which was a bit disappointing. For what this movie was in terms of it being a post-apocalyptic action film, it was just way too damn long. For what it's supposed to be, it was too long. If the action was exciting and new and thrilling, like, I would totally be into it if it was long. It could have been 5 hours. Like what I said with the mix, whenever the action is the same thing you've seen before, it just kind of lulls and it's kind of dull, even though there are some ups and downs with it. It just wasn't as exciting as before, and it just felt like it dragged on at some points. And while that action is cool, I think he could have cut some of it, and he just could have given more time to her talking or something. Let us know how she's feeling in some things. Again, her being quiet is cool. It does add to the cinematic language that it's portraying. You could have thrown in a scene or two where we actually get to see her be a character instead of just a vessel. But we have to get cars. I guess on an extremely basic scale of it being good or it being bad, I guess it's technically good. Technical level, it's good. Some elements could have been improved upon, definitely within the story. I would give it a 6.5, maybe barely 7 out of 10. More towards 6.5 though. There are great scenes in this movie that are sandwiched throughout just kind of dull, lull moments, unfortunately. And that was just, again, I hate to say it, disappointing to see. Despite being mixed on this film, I actually would have liked to have seen another Mad Max movie after this. Like, this doesn't wear me off of the Mad Max world. Because I've read that the years in between doing Mad Max Thunderdome to Fury Road, when he was working on Fury Road, he actually came up with a script for what became Furiosa and Mad Max The Wastelands. And if George Miller could have given us a Mad Max movie after this, I would be very open to see what new things he could come up with, or even if it's in someplace other than Australia, or maybe even a snowy apocalypse world, who knows. Unfortunately, that next Mad Max movie, it probably isn't gonna happen. I was looking this up the other day, and the budget that it took to make this movie, it was $168 million. That's just the production budget. When you go about advertising the movie, the general rule is you wanna take that production budget and add it up again, which would bring it to about $336 million. That's how much you gotta make just to break even. And coming off of a 4-day weekend, Furiosa worldwide, unfortunately, they made $68.1 million. As much as I would love to see that next Mad Max movie, we probably aren't gonna get it. If you wanna check it out in theaters, you can, but it's up to you. For this week's film recommendation, I actually would like to recommend to you a movie made by Bong Joon-ho called Snowpiercer. It stars Chris Evans in this post-apocalyptic world that's in the midst of a second ice age, which runs completely on a train going around the world to keep people alive. Lower class passengers are in the back of the train, and the upper class passengers are more towards the front. And they decide one day to start an uprising to get to the front of the train and live a better life. A lot of crazy shit happens in there. It's a really cool movie. I definitely would recommend it. It's on Tubi TV. That's all the time we have for today here at Film Stash. My name is Douglas Campbell, and if you excuse me, I gotta add to the stash.